Hey, y'all. It's Thursday. It's barely Bravo, shades of Bravo, whatever we're calling it. We don't know, but it's Thursday, so we're going to talk a little bit about Bravo. And I've got two guests here that you guys know. It's Brandy and Julie, their podcast, Dumb Gay Politics, where they have their great Patreon. It's Brandy Howard and Julie Goldman. Applause.
Hi, thank you. Thank you.
We've got all the new animals there, old and new animals. Yeah.
Old and new. Everyone's getting along, sort of.
Oh, I love it so much. I love it. We had a big smush face talk right before this all got started with the little smushy baby faces. Yeah. Oh, and y'all are like, oh, I can't handle it. Julie, I'm not a cat person, but oh my gosh, I could turn for that cat.
Right?
Yeah.
I could turn.
He's the bigger of the two, but he's the same
kind.
We do expensive cats.
Yeah.
Maybe that's probably why I like it, because I'm like, oh, it looks fancy.
Yeah, you know.
This kind of cat, though, is more like a dog than any cat I've ever had. Like, they'll play fetch. They'll come when you call their name.
Wow.
They like to play.
We tell him, like, Dumpling, do you want to go TT? He goes out with the dogs.
He comes in.
He eats with the dogs.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
What kind of a cat is it?
It's a Himalayan. So the Dumpling is a flame point Himalayan, and then Maverick is a blue point.
So he's gray.
Himalayan.
So Dumpling's like a ginger around his ears,
mm-hmm.
and then Maverick is like gray.
I love
they're beautiful.
I love the face. Yeah,
I love it too. It's so cute. So I was just telling Brandy before we got started, I don't think I actually know how the two of you met and became writing partners, because Brandy, I know that you're from California by way of Texas, then you ended up in LA, and then...
I was born and raised in California. My parents moved to Texas when I was a senior in high school. So my dad and my dad's side of his family are from Texas. Mm-hmm. So they're all still there. My dad's from San Antonio. So I have a ton of family in San Antonio and Austin and Houston. And then my mom was from here, from like the Inland Empire. So my whole mom's side is California. So I was born in San Diego, was raised in Southern California, and then I moved to Texas when I was a senior in high school. I went to my last year of high school and college there. And then I came back when I graduated college and came to back to LA. Julie, you can tell your history now.
You want to tell your origin story now, Julie?
I'm from Boston. I went to school in Boston. Then I moved to New York. And then while I was in New York for like 12 years doing like stand-up and theater and all the bullshit. And then I got involved with doing stand-up on cruises. Then I got on Big Gay Sketch Show, which was produced by Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell then launched the Our Family Cruises, at which point we got booked as the Big Gay Sketch Show sketch group to perform on the cruise, and I also did stand-up on the cruise. Brandy came on that cruise because she was friends with a girl that was in the cast named Nicole. Mm-hmm. They were like good friends at the time, no longer.
Yeah, we hate her now.
And now, and so we met and we became friends, and then we just started writing like that very soon after.
It was like Kate McKinnon and Julie and Johnny and Nicole. That cast has like a lot of illustrious stars in it. Mm-hmm. And we were all cruise, and I include myself, even though I wasn't in the cast. But I was just on that cruise, living it up, being myself, getting drunk, going around with Nicole, and just like, you know, it was a lot of dynamics. They were on a TV show. The producer of the TV show is there. And then you have Rosie O'Donnell, who's running the cruise. She has her wife there.
Yeah.
Rosie was in a really weird place at that time, too.
I saw her interview Jeff on her talk show. This was not the Koosh Ball, the big one.
Oh,
this was like a little one she did later that was very just one-on-one.
Oh, right. Because she couldn't, like Oprah, leave the fucking talk show, even though she pretended she wanted to.
Right.
Yeah, because I remember her talking to Jeff, and I was a big Flipping Out fan, and her saying to him, asking about Zoila, and saying, you know, what I see, you know, all like deep. She was like, what I see as a motherless boy.
Yeah.
mom, and that's why you are so close with Zoila. And of course, I was like, oh wow, I never thought about that. But of course, Rosie did because she was motherless as well.
Yeah.
So I remember it was just a one-on, two people across a desk from each other, like a Larry King kind of a situation. It was that show that he was on. That's all I remember from the interview, but it was like very serious.
Isn't it strange that now at the age we're all at, that just seems obvious? Or maybe we've just heard Rose O'Donnell talk so much about not having a mom. She was probably what taught us all what it would be like to lose a mom or something.
So you guys became, after that, you became like buddies and writing partners, and you guys write scripts, you've written television shows, and then you write a lot. If Julie does stand up, you write for that.
Yeah.
You guys were on the Joan Rivers, the fashion police.
The thing about that cruise was that we liked each other and we hit it off. I thought she was like hot and hilarious, and I wanted like it to be in her area because she's super funny and she did stand up. And I just same way as I love Nicole. Nicole was really, really funny. Toxic, but funny. And I say that as a toxic, funny person. So, the thing was that the producer of Big Gay Sketch Show, the showrunner, he was a big, very pretty prolific and successful writer. And he, whatever his agenda was, he had a show that he was developing with Kate McKinnon and Julie. And on that cruise, he wanted me to be involved in that show. Probably as just some slut that comes in and is like, does anyone want coffee or whatever he wanted? He wanted me to do that and not say, he wanted Julie and Kate and me to not say anything to Nicole or anyone else in the cast. So,
dynamics.
Yeah. So So we did it, and ultimately it ruined a bunch of relationships, but we got really close through that process because we had to keep secrets, and we were, became enemies with people and looked like we were being shady. And so, but that was how we started working together. We wouldn't have, I don't know. I mean, we might not have become writing partners if we weren't sort of working in a creative thing.
Maybe.
But through that,
you trauma bonded.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're also working together. So it was kind of like,
that's true.
Scott, or the showrunner, was really good at knowing what was funny, and he was really helpful in that, and developing I think us as writers.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I think we would have come to it naturally because it just was going to be born. It was going to be born. It just was going to be born. So however it was going to be born, it was going to be born. So now,
so we wrote, we've written 2 or 3 features.
2 features and 3 TV shows, right?
So sitcom pilots, single cam sitcom. We wrote 1 multi-cam sitcom pilot and 2 single cam sitcom pilots.
Right. No one cared.
No.
They're all in the garbage.
Then we did write for Joan Rivers.
But we did write for Joan Rivers. We worked on Funny Girls on Oxygen. We wrote random. We had so many weird.
We've written for Frankie Grande.
Yeah, there's weird jobs that just no one will ever know. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. Yeah.
So right now, the big thing there in Hollywood where you guys are is the SAG AFTRA strike and the Writers Guild strike. And so is that affecting you on your day to day?
I was mainly made my, side hustle income in commercials, which you can't have commercials without TV shows. Now, commercials can run during sports and reality shows, but the whole industry gets affected. But it really did affect Julie more than me, just simply because her auditions have ground to a halt. No auditions at all, and we're really not supposed to. Being SAG, we're not supposed to. We were never in the WGA because we always did shitty niche writing, but we. There's no scripted stuff, commercials or otherwise, going on. Julie was auditioning quite a lot and getting direct offers. So, and that's all. And there's a thing when this is my second strike in LA, and there's a feeling that comes over you where it's oh, this is the end of the industry. It doesn't, whether it's realistic or not, there's a feeling of what's like, and whether it's the end of the industry or not, it feels like it's the end of your own personal career.
Right. Like the auditions aren't going to come back. Or it's like the same as COVID, kind of like
COVID. Yeah, I would imagine it would feel the same. Like, is it ever going to come back to where it was? Or once this time passes, are they going to forget about me if they were calling me, you know? And you imagine like as collective, everybody feels that way.
Yeah. Like 2 new lesbians got born. You know what I mean? And that's it. Or whatever. 2 new non-binaries went into the strike thing, and now I'm fucked.
Or they did a TikTok trick where they did fucking, you know, lip syncing to somebody, and now they're the big thing.
I'm done. You know, my one thing that I got cast as, it's over. So
well, I mean, you can always go on just like that and replace Shay Diaz because God knows.
There you go.
God knows.
Being comedian who has a podcast.
Where did they get that idea?
Could we go? I mean, So, but you know,
where did they find her? That was so weird.
It's so random, so weird. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the lady from Grey's Anatomy. I'm like, wasn't she a doctor on Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Now she's there. Okay. So, I loved today you talking about whoever was the person on the Facebook group that said something. I was like, that's hilarious. Oh, that said that said that Brandy and chain smokers.
Yeah. Now the key of that, which I didn't even get into, is that they always mix Julie and I up. So I know for a fact they meant Julie and so the real tea, because I knew that they meant Julie. I mean, it doesn't matter, without fail. They will be like, today there's a picture and they're like, Julie, why are you in that jacket? Why are you wearing that jacket, girl? And it's like, I'm the only one in a jacket. It's like, that's Brandy. So now we're just sort of like, at this point, sometimes I look at her and I'll be like, what if her name was Brandy? And my dad is like a slut from the fucking 70s who married a million women, and one of his wives, one that he didn't have kids with, her name was Julie. And Julie already had her own 2 kids, and so he didn't have kids with her. And I always think, like, I wonder if my dad's wife was like pretty and her name was Julie. So for some reason, because my dad was married to a Julie, I can like get into being a Julie. But the only reason I'm not into it is because it's just not like a modern name. And you know, Mary Payne is not a modern name.
It's real hard.
We're all just stuck with strange, like, is all of our names like Linda at this point?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, my mom's name's Pam.
Yeah.
Julie's mom's name's Phyllis.
Yeah.
Are we all
I got
now? Mary is a classic name, but Mary Payne, that's a very specific moment in time from the South.
It's a very specific Deep South name, and it's a very specific double name that I literally am 54 years old and still explain every single day of my life. And it's horrible. And sometimes I'll do a podcast and I'll tell the person, you know, this, whatever. And then they may say Mary like once. They may say it accidentally. And then people on the Facebook group, it's always the fucking Facebook group, get so mad. They're like, oh, why did you let? I'm like, like Ben and Ronnie one time came on. I think maybe just Ben Mandelkar came on. And he knows me. Like, we've met in person. Like, we are friendly. And I think once he said Mary. And like, he's from New York. He doesn't get it. And they got all mad. I was like, do not be mad at Ben. Like, he's perfect, and he said it once, and he knows me, and he's forgiven. Everybody, take a fucking step back. Like, it's all right. I'm not offended. You shouldn't be offended.
I think it's really pretty, but I can imagine if it was just half my name, it would probably bug.
It bugs, but it's like, I'm so used to it. I want to ask you guys, you said about the People's Couch, the great show that you guys were on, RIP. Did you see that they're coming up with a new couch show with Kate Chastain and Captain Lee? I was like, what the actual fuck is this show?
Yeah.
Same show, but with Kate Chastain and Captain Lee talking about Bravo for the week or whatever.
And I can't believe they literally have couch in the name.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
I mean, yeah, I will say that is just a gut punch, and fuck Bravo for that, for doing that to all of us who did People's Couch.
Kate Chastain, anyways. Fuck her, dude. Just fuck her. She's a bitch when we met her in person with Ronnie and Ben, and Ronnie wanted to defend her, and she's a little bitch, and it's like, whatever, dog. Go be a waitress on a boat. How about that? Go be a waitress on a boat. That's all I have to say. You lurked on you were a bitch in person. You lurked on our shit. You already did with Galley Talk or whatever the fuck that was. Now you're doing Couch Talk. You're derivative and you're whack, and you can go be a waitress on a boat. I'll say it for the 4th time. I don't care. We're done with it. Bravo, you know, what they could skirt around whatever they would owe, you know, the production company or
All three or whatever.
All Three Media. Was Studio Canal or who would do?
That was the UK show?
Studio Lambert, and it's an English
production company.
Yeah. They think they can get away with it because it's not maybe multiple people on a couch, or maybe it is. We're avoiding the trailer, and
Captain Lee can fuck off too.
Yeah,
he's his whole above it all attitude, but then you're sitting there on the couch doing the thing. It's like
I'm very annoyed by it. I'm very annoyed by it. It has the word couch in it, and it's the same show, but just with two people on a couch. It's the same show, and I'm super annoyed by it.
Yeah,
super.
Two people no one cares about, and now I mean maybe they do, but we're not even here for Below Deck. Also, like the level that Below Deck has sunk to, Below Deck started to me the Bravo circling the drain of like gotcha reality, where it's like, oh, we're gonna find drugs in your room, or we're gonna catch you doing this, like catching people doing stuff, setting people up to catch them doing stuff. Then it spread all through the Housewives, and it's just always setting people up to catch them doing stuff. Then they have a, you know, whether it's a low key or high key life ruining moment, like that's not cute. That's not positive. That's not fun. It's not funny. And Below Deck started it. Bravo loves to pay people nothing and recycle them. Come through here. Let's exploit you. Then get out. We'll get someone new. And which is why they don't have Kate Chastain and Captain Lee on anything or on a boat now, because they want to keep exploiting people and bringing them drive their lives and then getting them out for no money. And it's their model. And I just think it's pitiful and pathetic. And you can go ahead and tell the story that you told at Heather's show about how they did Julie and Brandy types. This is why we're really bitter.
Oh yeah. I mean, at the end,
what?
After People's Couch ended, we got a I saw casting, because I would follow was looking at castings or whatever or whatever. And there I found one that was literally looking for Julie and Brandy types for new show. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And
we know somebody. It's Julie and Brandy.
I called the casting director and I was like, hi, it's Julie of Julie and Brandy. What's doing? What are you guys doing? We're here. We're not, we would love to work. What do you, and they were like, yeah, sorry, no, we want new types of you or younger types of you or whatever.
So they could pay them nothing.
Or we were being paid nothing, but they just wanted the model that we invented and of whatever our thing is. And they just didn't want it to be us because they wanted it to be new and fresh, or maybe, maybe they did want to pay less than maybe at that point. I mean, but
yeah,
it's, and you know, like losing People's Couch for me personally, like that was one of the hardest. Like I went into a deep depression. That was so intense. We weren't allowed to say anything for a year. We weren't even allowed to tell the fans that Bravo had canceled it.
And it's just a funny thing, because since they canceled it, and it's their prerogative and whatever, which is whatever, but the fact that we couldn't say anything for a year, we had to pretend that it was coming back. And then how many copycats have come since People's Couch?
Yeah.
And have gone nowhere. And it's like...
Yeah. The 90 Day Fiancé one's pretty succcel.
Oh, well, because that's specifically about... That's like an after show. Almost, but
yeah, it's pillow talk, and some of them are really, some of the people on there like you hate, because we cover cover all of 90 Day Fiance, and some of the people been on 90 Day Fiance have been the most hateable, punchable assholes, and then they go on this after show and they're freaking hilarious. You're like, why wasn't this person on the show? You're like really funny, like with your brother or whoever. Like it's always an ancillary character, not necessarily a star, but it's like the brother of somebody that was funny and the guy. And it really works. And it really makes you like these people. You're like, now if I'd watch a show with this person, not that asshole that was on, that seemed like a misogynist pig, this guy seems fun.
Right.
Yeah. So that's been successful, but somehow they have gotten away with having a show that's very similar. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm very annoyed. Listen, I'm not going to bash on Bravo, but I am very annoyed that they're doing the exact same show without the people that we want on it. The original.
Yeah.
It's all boycotted.
People's Couch. I'm not going to watch it because I don't need to watch Kate and Captain Lee. Like, I don't care to watch them.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care to watch them. I mean, all right. Speaking about hating Bravo, have you guys been watching Crappie Lake?
We did watch Crappie Lake. Yes.
And how are you feeling about Sonia fucking her way through Benton, Illinois?
I was into that part of it.
Right.
Because I thought that seemed authentic.
Yes. That was the only authentic part of the show. In my opinion. Everything else seems set up. It's cringe. Yes. It's produced. It's not real. It feels like they're trying so hard, and they don't need to have them try so hard. Sonia and Luann are funny.
Yeah,
they're funny. Yeah. They're fun to watch.
And now, just to be clear, we definitely don't blame Sonia and Luann for the problems with the show. Obviously, it's Bravo and the production company and constantly trying to put them in zany scenarios. And
so wacky. They're so wacky. They're going to build a playground. And then are they going to get the playground? Are they not? And you're like, of course they are, because a playground only costs like $3,000. We had one at our house. I mean, it's not like it's tens of thousands of dollars to get this little playground. And they act like it's this huge deal.
On Wayfair and order it from a catalog. Like,
yes.
Went online.
It's just all of it. Just and then even how they get from one thing to another, like they're going to the dumb Motel 6 fucking barbecue with that guy who the owner.
Oh yeah.
And then wait, what are you guys doing here? What's your name? Phil. Really? What are you in here for? Testicle festival. Really? Should we go? Like, I don't know. Should you go? Like, come on. Just
tastes like chicken.
Yeah. But I do think, I mean, they're charming, and
of course,
and even them getting like irritated with each other.
Yes, that's real. That seems real.
That seems real.
Bits of authenticity were fun to watch.
Yes.
And
yeah, I think them going into each other's hotel rooms and being like, oh my God, like, look at this disgusting mess. And, Sonia's got like her vibrator on her bed. Oh, I got the wrong charger. I thought it was for my phone. That kind of stuff is authentic because, Luann coming in like, darling, your room, that's authentic and funny because the two of them. And I talked to Ben and Ronnie about this. Like, who do you think could be another duo that could do a show like this? Because you think like Ramona would never do it because she's never going to get her hair wet, or get muddy. So they, Ben and Ronnie suggested Marisol and Alexia could do it. They would be funny because they're funny together.
Buckets. Yeah, they could do it. They'd do anything.
I enjoyed them a lot.
And their friendship's fun.
Yeah. I
will say, since we're talking about it, I would imagine what they could do with Luann and Sonia is since one of the most fun parts was watching them bicker about the dumb fake variety show. Like, yes. Why don't we let them put on a show? That was the best part of them bickering. They would fight the whole time. They would be fighting for it, and that would be real. Like Luann rehearsing the song.
Wait, when them singing together
was so funny.
Together. Okay, so why don't we just do that? Why don't we do them?
They just go town to town, putting on the Follies.
Well, we'd have like them.
Schooner Tuna, or what's that tuna show called?
Greater Tuna.
Oh, Greater Tuna.
Them putting on a show. Let's just do that. We don't need the bullshit. I don't want to see them fish. I don't want to see them hunt. I don't want to see them shoot a gun.
I have some good casting for produced fake, because now we're assuming when you say what's a good duo that they're going to put right into this cheesy bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's who I think. This is even over Alexia and Marisol.
Okay, yeah.
Who at least I could watch Marisol get drunk and I would feel seen. But
that's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would watch go fishing and go to a testicle festival. Kyle and Kim and Kathy.
Oh,
well, I'd watch them do anything.
Yeah.
Good one.
Now we have Kathy who's falling asleep and wants to take a nap during a sound bath.
Good one.
And it doesn't stop being authentic.
Good one.
Bitch will not stop. So she's going to, and Kim is so out to lunch.
Great.
The only one at this point who's doing any acting is Kyle.
That's great.
So we have the other two being crazy and authentic.
I love
and
it.
then we're just watching production try and wrangle.
It's great.
Two crazies and one person. That we could get into. I beat Ronnie and Ben.
I like that.
I nailed it.
That so much better. That's so great.
Probably that's cost $1 million each.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can't afford it.
Yeah.
I will tell you guys that you're the ones that encouraged me, because I told you that of everything, I've never watched Miami. Just never watched it. I've watched everything else. And you guys were like, well, you need to get on board. So I did watch the first 3 seasons from back in the day. Okay. Then I've just started this season. I don't know if it's 4 or 5, whatever. It's the first of the two, the new ones. And when I tell you, so we open up and they're having lunch. You know, the cast has gotten back together, minus Leah, and they're sitting there. And when I tell you, Larsa Pippen walked up, I was like, "New face, who dis? Like, who is this?"
Yeah.
I could not get over her different look. I could not get over it.
We didn't watch the way you watched because we watched the original at the time.
At the time, yeah.
No, Leah Black will sit in a room with us and be like, Larsa was fine. And we'll be like, was she on the original one? Like, we didn't understand that was the same human being.
Yeah.
Very, like, the whole entire, like, first season recent season, we'd be with Leah. She'd say, Larsa was on. I like Larsa. And we'd be like, we didn't understand. Was she a friend? Yeah, we did not get it until the last season, where they kept showing like flashbacks. They showed a few flashbacks.
Yes.
And we would be on the floor. We'd pause it. We'd take screenshots. We were like, "What? It's unbelievable."
Yeah, unbelievable. It's a different face.
It's a different face.
It did, and a different body. Different body. Yep, it did.
And she's like,
she looks cute. I want to say both ways.
Yes.
I could agree, but she looks cute both ways. Just like what's her nuts with that was married to Frederick with the boat and the thing. What's her name? Adriana.
Oh, okay.
Adriana. She looks totally different to me as well, but I think it's just because her hair is like super light. But her mouth sort of looks the same
different too. If you watch that, what about Margaret Josephs?
Oh my good God!
Wow, I think you watched those consecutively and you got used to it. If we watched all of New Jersey with Margaret Josephs in like 3 days, and we were that shit was like Face Off.
Yeah. I think she looks the same because I've watched it as we've gone.
Yeah,
you know?
No,
I could tell. You know, she had to pull. She admitted it. You know, she had a lower facelift, whatever.
Yeah. No.
Well, the Larsa thing, I can't get over, and I can't get over how disgusting Lenny is, and he's in that pool like, "Hey, baby," and he's so gross, and I'm just like,
gross.
Why is she? And why is she like, Lenny and I have had problems? I'm like, give it up, girl. So finally, thank God he's going to marry somebody else, and she has a hot boyfriend, I hear. So good for her.
Good.
Oh, good. We didn't hear she had a boyfriend. So good.
Yes, somebody said on some podcast she's got a really hot boyfriend now. So who cares about Lenny? But it was funny when she was like, "Congratulations on my husband on engagement of his mistress." That was funny.
Yeah,
that was funny. Marisol. Somebody told me if you DM her, she DMs everybody back.
Wow.
And so I DM'd her. She DM'd me right back like 4 minutes later, as if we were best friends. And it was wild. I can't remember I'm sure I'd like had some wine. I was like, I think I'll DM her. Well, I will tell you,
a lot on there.
Brandy, you should have never given me your phone number because I do send you texts a lot. I don't expect an answer, but sometimes you guys have said something on the show and I have to get it out.
We have a Patreon that also costs money, but it's just us.
I think everybody should do both. I think that getting SiriusXM is worth it for the programming on Radio Andy, and I think it's worth it because you get the app, the $7.99, which is the Jeff Lewis channel, which it's just all the time running with like funny stuff that's on there that you may not have heard 6 years ago or whatever. I love the little clips they put together. Alyssa's doing a great job. And here's another tip. If you already belong to SiriusXM and then you're not happy with your price, you just call them up and tell them you're canceling and they'll give you like half the price.
That is
They'll be like, if you're paying $30 a month, they'll go, okay, it's $5. Great. I'd also like the Howard Stern channel. Fine. They'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. They're like DirecTV that way. Just threaten.
Threaten to leave and they'll give it to you. And I do listen 98% on my phone. Sometimes if I'm in the car and something is on Radio Andy that I like if John Hill show or something, I'll listen live. But otherwise, I'm listening on my app because sometimes I might start 10 minds late. You hit restart show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yep.
Gives you all
it's great.
And we have our Patreon. It's on julieandbrandy.com. All the information on that. That's where we really want to send people. That's how we pay our bills.
Yes.
You know. That's our main bread and butter. And we have our regular political podcast for people who are left-leaning liberal Democrats. That's who it's for. We just leaned into that. So that's
to lean in. Yeah.
That's free on all platforms, Dumb Gay Politics.
Yeah, it's a great show too. So I listen to all the things. So you guys, there's There's a Julie and Brandy. There's a Julie and Brandy for everyone.
I hope so.
There's a super political one. There's a non-political one. Yes.
Patreon's not political. So if you just want to hear us talking about whatever, that's what that's for.
Yeah, I mean, we really have compartmentalized all of our shit. So that people don't have to hear politics if they don't want to.
They don't have to hear about Bravo if they don't want.
They don't, because we don't even do that on the Patreon.
Yeah.
No, you guys are just chatting. And like you guys were talking about Brandy being a sorority girl. And that's another one of those annoying texts I sent you. I was like, I need to talk about how I was a sorority girl.
There's so many levels,
there's
many
levels. There's layers. There's rooms.
There's pet talk. There's talks of pets.
Talk, songs, poems.
Oh, there's songs. Yeah. All right, everybody, follow Brandy and Julie over on. Just tell me about that. It's okay. So it's
Julie and Brandy.
Tell me about that. Yes, JulieandBrandy.com. And from there, can you click like the Instagram and stuff to the Jeff Lewis channel and all those, the 789 Instagram and all that?
The Jeff Lewis Instagram is JL Channel 789. So JL Channel 789. Then Julie is at Mr. Julie Goldman. And I'm at the Brandy Howard. And that's all on JulieandBrandy.com.
Yeah, and you can see a hot picture of them in Leah Black's bathtub. Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay, guys, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.